Hello again, and welcome back to Kids Bible Stories. Today's story is called, What I Do Have, I Give You. This comes from Acts chapter 3, verses 1 through 16. Parents, before we start today's episode, I want to share the Boom Clap podcast with you. This is a podcast that I really enjoy listening to. It just feels like I'm hanging out with a few wise friends who really are not afraid to ask hard questions, dig deep, and still laugh along the way. I enjoy that they cover current events, but also topics that often get overlooked, and they do it all through a biblical lens. It's really challenged me to pause and think, what do I really think about this or even know about this? My favorite thing, though, is that they always come back to Christ as the foundation. Check out the Boom Clap podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and I'll also put the link for easy access in the show notes. Okay, let's go ahead and start today's story. Have you ever seen someone do something amazing and thought, whoa, how did they do that? Maybe they jumped really, really high or solved a hard puzzle like a Rubik's Cube. Have you ever tried one of those? Boy, they are hard. Well, today's story is about something even greater, something more incredible. We are talking about a miracle. This story happens after Jesus came back to life and went up to heaven. It's when the disciples were starting to tell the whole world about Jesus. That helps us know where we are in God's big story. Okay, are you ready? Let's go ahead and jump in. It was 3 p.m, and the hot sun hung low in the sky. The stone streets of Jerusalem were buzzing with people heading to the temple to pray. Among the crowd were 2 men, Peter and John, followers of Jesus. As they walked toward the large gates of the temple, one in particular stood out. It was called Beautiful, and sitting right there, day after day after day, was a man who couldn't walk, not even a little. He had been unable to use his legs since the day he was born. Every morning, someone carried him to that gate so he could beg for money. As Peter and John walked by, the man called out,
"Please, do you have anything you can give me?"
Peter and John stopped. Peter looked at the man straight in the eyes.
"Look at us,"
Peter said kindly. The man looked up, expecting a few coins. He didn't expect anything more. And after all, that's all he ever got. Maybe a few pennies or a kind word. He had no reason to believe today would be any different. But today was different. Peter said,
"Silver or gold I do not have, but what I do have I give to you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk."
Peter reached out his hand and helped him up. Listeners, let's pause here for just a second.
But wait, I want to find out. Does he walk?
I promise I'll tell you, but I need you to think. Can Peter make someone walk on his own?
No.
No way. Peter wasn't a superhero, but he did play a part. Peter did what he could. He spoke and he reached out. And then God did what only he can do. Back to our story.
Finally.
As Peter helped him up, the man felt something strange in his feet. Strength. His ankles, once wobbly like jelly, suddenly straightened. His legs, which had never walked, not even once, grew steady beneath him. He stood. He blinked. Was this real? Then he jumped. His feet pushed off the ground like springs, and he felt the earth thump beneath him as he landed. He had never felt that before. Never felt his toes bend, his heels hit the ground, or the tickle of balance as his body soared up and then came down again. Then he laughed.
Oh!
And then he danced. He jumped and walked and praised God right into the temple courts. People stared.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the man who sits outside the gate? The one who can't walk?
Someone asked.
It is. I've never seen anything like it.
What happened? How is this possible? Said another. All around, people were staring, and you could hear the murmurs of their amazement.
Wow.
They gathered around Peter and John, eyes wide, jaws dropped open.
Look at that.
The man clung to them, still smiling, still walking, still praising. Peter looked around at the crowd and spoke.
Why are you surprised? Why are you looking at us like we made this man walk? This wasn't our power. This wasn't our godliness.
Peter reminded them of someone very special.
This happened because Jesus, the same Jesus that God raised from the dead, you handed him over to be crucified, and you disowned him before Pilate, though he had decided to let him go.
I imagine some in the crowd glancing at one another, thinking, "Oh no, we did do that." Peter continued.
You disowned Jesus, the holy and righteous one, and asked that a criminal be released. You killed the author of life, but God raised him from the dead. And we are witness of this. It is by faith in his name that this man was made strong, not by us, but by him. And it is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that has completely healed him, as you can all see.
Well, that is it for our story today, but before we go, let's think about what we just heard. Answer out loud. The man who was begging for money, what was wrong with his body?
He couldn't walk.
That's right. Okay, now let's see if your listening ears were on. Do you remember the names of the two men that he asked for help?
Peter and John.
If you said Peter and John, you got it. This miracle amazed everyone. It was something only God could do. But he invited Peter to play a part. Peter didn't have money or fancy things. He just offered what he did have. Faith in Jesus. And he stepped out boldly. Did you know that we can do that too? Maybe we won't help someone walk again, but we can offer a prayer for someone who is sad. We can show kindness to someone who's hurting. We can share about Jesus. And when we do, God might do something only He can do. Well, that is it for our story today. I would like to thank this episode's voice guest, Callie Carpenter, for helping me with some voices. She's a board-certified holistic nutritionist, is passionate about helping kids' gut health, and knowledgeable in all things detox. Check her out on Instagram at The Detoxed Life. I'll put her link in the show notes for you too. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And, as always, bye for now.